The story of Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in a small city called Ulm, located in the Kingdom of Württemberg in Germany. His parents, Hermann Einstein and Pauline Koch, were not wealthy, but they worked hard to provide for their family. Hermann owned a small factory that produced electrical equipment, and Pauline took care of the household. Little did they know, their son Albert would grow up to change the world. When Albert was a baby, he was very quiet and did not speak much. In fact, he did not start speaking until he was about 3 years old. This made his parents worrying about his development. People around them thought Albert might not be very intelligent because he was so quiet, but his parents loved him and believed he was special. They had no idea that Albert was already thinking deeply about the world around him. One day, when Albert was about 5 years old, his father showed him a simple compass. The compass had a needle that always pointed in the same direction. Albert was fascinated. How did the needle move without anyone touching it? What force was guiding it? This small compass made Albert very curious. He began to wonder about the invisible forces that controlled the universe. This moment sparked his lifelong love for science and discovery. Albert's childhood was not easy. He went to school like other children, but he did not enjoy it. The teachers were strict, and the lessons were boring to him. Albert did not like being forced to memorize facts. He preferred to think about questions and find answers on his own. His teachers thought he was a poor student because he often refused to follow their rules. One teacher even told him, "You will never amount to anything." But Albert's curiosity and passion for learning never stopped. At home, Albert spent hours reading books about mathematics and science. His uncle Jacob, who was an engineer, encouraged him to explore these subjects. Albert's mother also supported his love for music. She taught him how to play the violin, and he often found comfort in playing music when he felt stressed or lonely. Music remained an important part of Albert's life even when he grew older. When Albert was a teenager, his family moved to Switzerland. Life in Switzerland was different, and Albert's new school was more modern. The teachers there encouraged students to think independently, which suited Albert's style of learning. He did very well in mathematics and physics, and he began dreaming of becoming a teacher. After finishing high school, Albert applied to study at the Swiss Federal Polytechnic School in Zurich. He passed the entrance exam and started studying to become a physics teacher. In 1900, Albert graduated from the Polytechnic School. He was excited to start his career, but things did not go as planned. He could not find a teaching job, and he struggled to make ends meet. Eventually, he found work at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern. His job was to review applications for new inventions. Although the work was not very exciting, it gave Albert plenty of time to think about his own scientific ideas. He often used scraps of paper at his desk to jot down equations and theories. The year 1905 was a turning point in Albert's life. It is now called his miracle year because he published 4 groundbreaking scientific papers in just 1 year. These papers changed the way people understood the universe. One of these papers introduced the famous formula E = mc, which means energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. This formula showed that a small amount of mass could be turned into a huge amount of energy. It was a revolutionary idea that laid the foundation for modern physics. Albert also developed the theory of special relativity, which explained how time and space are connected. According to this theory, time can move faster or slower depending on how fast you are moving. These ideas were difficult to understand, and many scientists at the time did not believe Albert's theories. But Albert was patient and confident. Over time, his work was proven correct, and he became famous around the world. In 1921, Albert Einstein won the Nobel Prize in Physics. However, he did not win the prize for his theory of relativity. Instead, he won it for his work on the photoelectric effect, which explained how light can behave like tiny particles called photons. This discovery was important for the development of technologies like solar panels and modern electronics. Albert used his fame to speak about important issues. He believed in peace and was strongly against war. In 1933, when Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party came to power in Germany, Albert decided to leave his home country. He moved to the United States and took a job at Princeton University. He continued his research there and became an American citizen in 1940. During World War II, Albert was concerned about the dangers of nuclear weapons. He wrote a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, warning him that Germany might be developing a powerful bomb. This letter led to the creation of the Manhattan Project, which developed the first nuclear weapons. Albert was saddened when these weapons were used in war, and he spent the rest of his life advocating for peace and the responsible use of science. Albert Einstein continued to work on his scientific ideas until his death. On April 18, 1955, he passed away at the age of 76, but his legacy lives on. His theories have shaped modern physics and inspired countless scientists. Today, Albert Einstein is remembered not only for his brilliance, but also for his humility and his love for learning. What we learn from Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein's life teaches us many important lessons. First, it's okay to be different. Albert was not like other children, but he followed his curiosity and became one of the greatest minds in history. Second, hard work and perseverance are key to success. Even when others doubted him, Albert never gave up on his dreams. Finally, Albert reminds us to use our knowledge for good. He believed that science should help humanity, not harm it. His story inspires us to think big, ask questions, and always keep learning.